latest news and reports on ongoing activities here in Egypt. Stay tuned for more coming up after this break. Welcome back, we start off with some local news. And banks operating in the local market aim to double the size of their financing portfolio of small and medium-sized enterprises in 2017 within the framework of their commitment to implement the Central Bank of Egypt's initiative to support these projects and to increase the size of the portfolios. And President Fattah el-Sisi congratulated the national team for qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations final. Egypt qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations final on Wednesday after beating Burkina Faso 4-3 on penalties in the semi-finals. The match in Libreville ended 1-1 after 90 minutes and extra time, with Mohamed Salah's 66th minute opener for Egypt cancelled out by Artiside Bans 7 minutes later. With no further scoring, it went to a shootout where Hassam al-Hadri saved from Bertrand Traore's last kick for Burkina Faso gave Egypt the victory. Egypt will play either Ghana or Cameroon in Sunday's final. And banks operating in the local market aim to double the size of their financing portfolio of small and medium enterprises in 2017 within the framework of their commitment to implement the Central Bank of Egypt's initiative to support these projects and increase the size of the portfolio to 20% of their local loans portfolio of 2019. According to the latest figures issued by the CBE, banks granted funds worth 17 billion Egyptian pounds to micro businesses and SMEs from January to September 2016. And to shed more light on the importance of small and medium enterprises in the economy, we are joined here on the phone with Dr. Mohammed Fouadi, Member of Parliament. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you and the viewers.
Sir, we were talking about the bank's initiative to support small and medium enterprises in 2017 and to offer them more finance. So how do you see this initiative?
I think moving into financing SMEs is a great move, simply because they comprise about 70% of the actual employment market, and I think the time is good now to start getting into this direction.
Yes, sir. Also, President Fattah el-Sisi, when he was meeting youths in Aswan, he also launched an initiative to establish integrated industrial zones for small and micro industries in Upper Egypt. So how do you evaluate the government's effort to develop these areas?
I think it's pretty important, and yes. If you can note, we've approved in the Parliament a World Bank loan, yes, which has been originated by Dr. Sahar Nasr, Minister of Foreign Cooperation. Yes. And this loan is aimed at supporting the actual infrastructure for Upper Egypt. So we're not talking about, the old idiom of teaching man how to fish rather than providing fish. So what we want to look at is building the actual infrastructure of Upper Egypt, where while the actual national poverty rate is about 28%, the actual poverty rate in Upper Egypt ranges to above 60%.
So in your opinion, to what extent SMEs contribute to economic growth?
They're about 70% of employment, as I said earlier, and they are the biggest driver of, yes, of economic growth, because to put things in perspective, 70% of the actual income of the country is made of taxes. So by growing the business community, what you're doing is you're trying to expand the tax base. And when you expand the tax base, then you're expanding the revenue. And when you expand the revenue, then you have enough money to spend on public spending. So this is basically how the economic chain works.
So how can we ease regulations? How can the government ease regulations on starting a business?
There are a couple of issues here.
Yes.
First is the legislative part, and this is being addressed by the investment law, which is being looked at,
yes.
And we are looking forward to be discussing this in the upcoming months. And a lot of work has been done on it, and in the Economic Committee within the Parliament, there have been discussions about the initial draft of this law. So this is from the legislative
yes.
part. From the monetary part, we had a certain issue or a setback in businesses at large and small businesses in special in 2014, 2015 with the currency crunch, because a lot of the small businesses, they do rely on foreign currency. And what you see is a lot of the banks in 2015, and specifically starting from October 2015 and all the way in 2016, were unable to provide foreign funds to bank. One of the positive news that happened post the floating of the foreign currency, or the floating of the Egyptian pound rather, is now banks are starting for the first time in a while to avail foreign funds, crucial for operations of both small and large business. And as you said earlier in your report, is that a lot of the banks are trying to target expanding the business section for the small and medium size. This has been the plan for the banks in 2014, 2015. However, those small and medium-sized units within the banks were suffering big problems because, I mean, if a small investor or a small business that wants to import few goods, if the banks cannot provide them with dollars, then the operation does not become feasible.
Okay, Dr. Mohammed Fouad, Member of Parliament, thank you for being with us today. And back to our local news, and the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Mohammed Shakir, held a meeting with the Egyptian Electricity Transmission Company to receive the latest updates regarding the executive position of the projects that aim to strengthen the performance of the electricity grid to be able to absorb the added capacities of the new power plants being installed in summer. Details in the coming report. Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy Mohammed Shakir met with the Egyptian Electricity Transmission Company, the EETC. Shakir received the latest updates regarding the executive position of the projects that aim to strengthen the performance of the electricity grid to be able to absorb the added capacities of the new power plants being installed in the summer. Emel Abderrahim, head of the EETC, explained the position of the company's projects and future plans that are being implemented to meet the added capacities in summer. He also displayed the projects for strengthening the performance of electricity transmission grids in Upper Egypt and other governorates. The investment cost of the projects that are being carried out registered 29 billion Egyptian pounds. The implementation of the projects that will support the transmission grids is underway. Projects will strengthen the performance of grids by establishing modern electricity transmission lines and establishing a new transformer station by expanding the existing ones. Abderrahim said that the EETC is working on establishing 3 transformer stations in Bani Suef industrial zone. The implementation of stations is expected to be completed in the last quarter of 2017. Transformers of East Ismailia stations are to be implemented during the first quarter of 2018. Egypt Finance Minister Amr Al-Garhi said that Egypt successfully issued $4 billion in euro bonds on the global bond market, the largest issuance in Egypt and Africa, bringing the funding gap for this fiscal year. Al-Garhi said that the bond issuance, which he referred to as unprecedented, eliminates the funding gap for the current fiscal year 2016-2017, as well as a large portion of the upcoming fiscal year. Al-Garhi said that the ministry originally aimed to sell $2 to $2.5 billion denominated euro bonds, but raised it to $4 billion after the approval of 4 banks. And the Minister of Industry and Trade, Tariq Qabil, said that Egypt's trade deficit has gone down since January 2016 by an impressive $9 billion, as imports decreased by $7 billion, while exports increased by $2 billion. The minister cited the liberalization of the Egyptian pound as one of the main reasons behind the increase of the promotion of the country's exports. More details in the coming report. Minister of Industry and Trade Tariq Qabil said that the liberalization of the Egyptian pound has helped promote the country's exports and limit its imports. Addressing Africa's Year's Egypt Moment conference, Qabil said that the 2011 revolution impacted sectors across the economy, with Egypt's trade deficit rising significantly. The minister said that this amplified the foreign currency shortage, with almost all of Egypt's foreign currency sources such as the Suez Canal remittances, tourism, foreign direct investments and exports taking a hit. Qabil explained in the statement that his ministry had set a strategy based on 5 pillars to address the situation, focusing on industrial development, small and medium-sized enterprises, exports, competition and governance. The minister said that Egypt's trade deficit has gone down since January 2016 by an impressive $9 billion. Its imports decreased by $7 billion, while exports increased by $2 billion. The statement said that in terms of Egypt's strategy to support exports, Qabil noted that a huge part of the focus is going towards Africa, where Egypt has a clear edge. On another note, Qabil attended the international exhibitions for furniture, and he said that the exhibitions represent a new launch for Egyptian furniture industries. The minister said that the furniture industries provides jobs for a lot of workers and increase the possibility of increasing Egypt's exports, adding that the Egyptian furniture is one of the best industries in the country. He believes that the country could attract foreign investments in this sector because Egyptians have experience in it. And now, dear viewers, we move to the latest news in the military field, the Military Magazine with Yasmin Kafas.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi presided over a security meeting of the National Defense Council to review the latest security developments and discuss ongoing operations in northern Sinai. The meeting was attended by Prime Minister Sharif Ismail and Ministers of Defense, Interior, Foreign Affairs and Finance, alongside the Armed Forces Chief of Staff and the Chief of the Egyptian General Intelligence. The meeting discussed counter-terrorism efforts in Sinai, as well as increased security measures undertaken to protect the country's borders. The Council agreed to prolong the period of the Egyptian armed mission in the Gulf, Red Sea, and Bab el-Mandab areas. Defense Minister Sadi Sobhi met on Thursday with Chief of Staff of the French Army Pierre Fay and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, they discussed the latest developments in the region, current regional and international issues of mutual concern, in addition to ways of boosting bilateral cooperation between both countries. Minister of Defense and Military Production Sadi Sobhi met with the commander of the UN Organization Stabilization Mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, MONUSCO, and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, they discussed issues of mutual concern and the role of the mission in the Black Continent. The defense minister praised the efforts exerted by the peacekeeping forces of the Democratic Republic of Congo, pointing to the importance of their role in preserving security and stability of the brotherly country, which plays an important role as one of the most important countries in the African continent. For his part, the commander of the MONUSCO praised the continuous support provided by Egypt's peacekeepers and the importance of the role played by the Egyptian forces participating in the peacekeeping operation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
من تراب مصر بازغ ندمه، وفي دروبها اشتد عوده واستنار فكره، وفي ناصع صفحات جيش مصر العريق سجل بأحرف من نور اسمه. إنه المشير محمد عبد الحليم أبو غزالة، أحد رواد العسكرية المصرية في العصر الحديث. ولد المشير محمد عبد الحليم أبو غزالة في الأول من يناير عام 1930 بقرية زهور الأمراء، مركز الدلنجات، محافظة البحيرة.
Welcome back, and now we move to the world of tourism, and we'll get you some interesting news about attractive destinations in Egypt and the latest archaeological discoveries, so stay tuned.
Cairo hotels continued to show a strong performance despite the recent devaluation of the local currency. The continued surge in revenues per available rooms is the result of the increasing average daily rates. Consequently, hotel profitability rates are expected to further enhance. According to the report, both Cairo and Jordan's Aqaba are considered tourism hotspots, with 8% and 11% expected RevPAR growth from December to February, respectively. Alexandria is the runner-up with a forecasted 6% RevPAR growth in the same period. On the other hand, Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh are expected to witness 3% and 2% growth during the same period. Regarding the guest experience index, Colors noted that Cairo scored 73 out of 100 for November 2016, marking a 3-point increase, while Alexandria scored 76, Sharm el-Sheikh records 81, and Hurghada records 82. The Egyptian Tourist Authority is getting ready to participate in the ITB Berlin exhibition in the first half of March 2017 in order to increase the incoming tourism movement from Western European countries throughout next summer, according to an official in the authority. The authority asked the Egyptian Travel Agents Association to get ready to participate in the exhibition and to coordinate with the authority to increase the tourism flow coming to Egypt, especially from the German market. For the third consecutive year, the Egyptian Tourist Authority kept the price of participation with no increase, according to the official, adding that price of participation is 1,350 euros compared to 2,350 euros 2 years ago, in spite of increase of the cost of reserving the section in the exhibition. The incoming tourism flow to Egypt retreated the last year to 5.3 million tourists compared to 9.3 million in 2015, a decline of 40% due to the suspension of Russian trips to Egypt. The official said that the cost of participation serves the interest of Egypt's tourism sector in the end, in order to enable the companies to be present in the exhibition. The official expects the number of tourists coming from Germany during this year to reach about 800,000, given the resumption of trips from Germany in the last quarter. He added that the expenditure of German tourists ranges between $70 to $80 per night. The most important tourist areas are Germans are both Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh, besides trips to archaeological areas in Luxor and Aswan.
research team in Egypt has transformed their dream into reality by producing a homegrown alternative to wood. In the city of El-Minya, laborers and researchers have found a way to transform palm frond into a range of wooden products such as floorboards and homeware amid rising prices of imported wood in the country. The process includes removing the curved fronds from palm trees and feeding them into a compressing machine several times to create a strong, uniform plank of wood. Due to the malleability of the palm frond, the wood can be fashioned into a range of products from wallpaper to chairs and even pots. It is generally harvested whilst in optimal season and then stored, compressed and cooled. The project employs machines designed and manufactured locally that compress the fronds with the help of local labor and research teams. Cairo's Museum of Islamic Art has reopened its doors to former Antiquities Minister Mamdouh al-Damanti said the museum's reopening showed that Egypt will not be defeated in the face of attacks by terrorist groups. He said that they're thankful to God for this impressive opening and great opening of the most significant museum of Islamic artifacts in the world. Wings dedicated to weaponry, coins, medicine, astronomy and weaving have all been added to enhance the museum's collection. The restoration experts were able to salvage all but 19 of the 179 damaged pieces, and more than 4,400 exhibits are on display, including about 400 that are being shown for the first time. The restoration works of the building, which first opened in 1903, was funded by the United Arab Emirates and UNESCO, the cultural arm of the United Nations, as well as Switzerland, the United States and Italy.
Welcome back, dear viewers. In this part of our program, we are going to talk about tourism and the means of enhancing this vital sector and challenging that facing this sector. Also, we'll shed light on promotional campaigns that are currently taking place, as we all know that winter season is one of the seasons that attract tourists from all over the world to enjoy the sunny weather here in Egypt, especially in Luxor and Aswan. And we are delighted to be joined here in the studio with Mr. Karim Ali. He is a tourism expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So let's first talk about Luxor and Aswan, as President Fattah Sisi held last week a youth conference in this Upper Egypt city, yes. And he toured Aswan and met with many tourists who were there at that time. And in your opinion, do you think that it is considered as a promotional campaign for Egypt?
Honestly, let me clarify first that this is the type of promotion that we are looking
yes.
at, because you are already showing live what's happening in the city with the president, with the safetiness, with everything, with the beauty of the Nile, the islands we've seen. That on its own, it's a a huge marketing for the destination. Part of the destination, not only Egypt, it is Aswan and southern Egypt. Definitely the meetings and the interviews with the tourists during his visits, you have heard it on the news and everything. It was very positive. Yes, we are renewing, we are doing a lot of efforts to increase this service and to provide better service for those clients when they come to Egypt. And this is our role to increase it, definitely positive.
And in your opinion, what kind of tourists is interested in visiting Aswan and Luxor?
Look, everyone, let me just clarify first that to market Egypt is already marketed worldwide.
Yes.
When you are in kindergarten in UK or in US, any place in the world, you are studying the history of Egyptian culture.
Yes.
You have already exceeded a big percentage of marketing the children to a destination. So they want to come one day. So everybody wants to come to Egypt. This is real, something you feel it when you meet anyone, anywhere in the world. Yes, Egypt, I want to go there. But now they tell you now it's not, is it safe, it's not safe, what's happening? I said, no, it's safe, everything is good. You have to understand that they have criteria of safetiness in Egypt. You have a lot of places that has terrorism, but it has already tourism. So I don't see that it should stop having a lot of tourists in our destination.
Also, in the first half of March 2017, the ITB or the Berlin exhibition for tourism is expected to take place with the participation of Egypt. How can we present ourselves in a good way there?
Look, honestly, every year we attend, Egypt attend the ITB with a very nice stand, huge stand, very good. Even the people, the owners of travel agencies are also promoting their services there. It's one of the stands that is very booming in Berlin, especially Berlin. I would like, when we go to Berlin, to make sure to highlight on the new projects that we are doing in Egypt, like the Egyptian Museum, like parts of the history. I was in Luxor a few weeks ago, and I saw the new excavations at Hatshepsut, near Hatshepsut Temple.
Yes.
They have to see this. It's not only putting at the metro stations just pictures about Egypt. Everybody can go Google some pictures, but they need to see what's life.
Maybe they can put screens for these excavations.
I don't want to, honestly, if I am in charge of something like this, I don't want to spend a lot of US dollars outside also.
Yes.
So I have to show it while I'm here, show it live in our news, put it in the news. Those are the news things. Even their media, when they show a terrorist attack in Turkey or in France, they can also show that there is a festival in France and Turkey. So both will be shown. It's not only they will show the bad and not the good. This is what we have to push in the international media.
So also we see that the Minister of Antiquities launched a mobile application that can guide tourists in the Egyptian Museum for the first time. How do you see this move by the Minister of Antiquities?
Honestly, I see it's a very good idea. Honestly, shame on me, I didn't know that that happened. Maybe it was not in the media very well promoted. It should be promoted internationally, because this would be very good. If they translate directly on this application on your mobile, that's amazing. I didn't see it outside even. When I traveled abroad, I didn't see it.
So to what extent declaring Luxor as the World Tourism Capital in 2016 will help in promoting for tourists?
Luxor, it's more than nearly 20% of the antiquities of the whole world. So it's a very rich city. In Egypt. Not having a lot of tourists in this destination, of course, it's very bad impact on the people living there. Although now it's starting very good standard of business coming to Luxor and Aswan. We have a lot of groups. I don't want to say a lot, but it's better than definitely 2016 during that time, because you remember last year we had the crash of the flights and everything. So definitely the impact was very bad during 2016, but easily starting, I would say, December this year, starting Christmas and New Year, it started to pick up slowly but firmly, not in a bad situation. They're showing better.
And what about the role of Egyptians when it comes to boosting tourism?
Sorry, the role?
The role of Egyptians themselves.
Okay. Everybody is saying now we don't have a lot of tourists. We have to do a lot of marketing for the media. If we are talking marketing for the media, I have a lot of elements to put in consideration. I have people, human behavior. I have security, I have services, I have product that I have to sell to our clients. We have to make sure that all those components are available to let the tourists live a proper vacation, relaxed, secured. Security for foreigners is not only terrorism. You see in Turkey, in everywhere, you have, but there is still tourists. The security for them, how many accidents on the highway roads, if there are any kind of problems in some streets. These are some main issues they think about. We don't have such a thing, but we have to show them that we don't have. We have to transfer those information outside. Not only to show also the, like Aswan, for example, like we said, yes, show it wide. Don't put only picture. This is the best marketing, I believe.
And also services. We want to shed light on services and to what extent we need to develop services at this time.
This thing for the Egyptian Museum is amazing. If you can do this for the sound and light shows, if you can do this at the pyramids, although the guys maybe will not be that happy, but we don't have to be only ready for the tourists coming through travel agencies. Yes, we need tourists coming from travel agents, but we also need the tourists that they come on their own. You remember long time ago, you can see people, tourists walking in the streets with their sac à dos, their sleeping bags. They go to hotels, yes, but they have everything. They go excavate the deserts. They travel on their own. This is the real, when you go to Italy, you don't have to be with a travel agency. When you go to France, when you go everywhere as your family, you book, you go. So we need to reach also this type of tourists because now you have a lot of applications that they sell hotels, they sell accommodation. So we have also to be like with them, show that our destination is wide for all those kind of travel needs. So especially, we have to concentrate on two other type of travel, which is the incentive travel and the conferences.
Yes, tell us the difference.
Yeah, those people are coming, if you are coming for a conference, he's coming for a business. He has to attend. So convincing client to do the conference in Egypt will bring about 3,000, 2,000, 5,000 delegates. This will make a lot of travel impact from them. And this type of travelers, they spend. They don't only come and stay in all-inclusive hotel. No, they come, they spend, they go out, they use taxis, they use, they use the destination as a touristic part. So this is a plus, especially for the incentive travel. Incentive travel is when you have a very corporate, big international company, and they put a target for their employees to achieve. The first 100 that will achieve this product, they have a very, very special travel to a destination. Egypt could be one of those destinations, and so we expect those clients to come here, and those clients are invited by the company itself. So they don't pay from their own pocket. The company pays for them, and they take always the top notch of everything. They do gala dinners at the pyramids, gala dinners inside the temples at Luxor, in Aswan. So this is the type of business we need. We need also to provide in our marketing, we have to show that this is happening. It's happening those days also. We have some events in Luxor, we have some events in Aswan. We have to show it to them. This is the role of marketing, I believe.
Do you think that we should diversify our sources of tourism and not rely on a certain market?
Look, if we check, for example, in 2016, there is a huge increase from the Chinese market. We started to feel this increase in our country nowadays. We started to feel Chinese in Luxor and Aswan, even in Sharm. Even in Cairo, you can see them somewhere, in the museum.
How do you explain this?
Concerning?
How do you explain the flow of Chinese tourists to Egypt? Is it like, do they come because of marketing campaigns? Why are they interested in Egypt?
During the time being in Egypt, we have two different aspects. We have client type, and if you are a client that you are going to London, Paris, and you come to Egypt, you will stay at super good stars hotel, high standard of client. Now we have the type of client is a little bit different because the client will come, he will come because yes, prices are not that expensive now, it's better so I can afford, and I believe it's safe, I can see my friends went and they came back, it's very nice, so let's go. So this, when the first flight comes, they market for us when it goes back happy, they market for us. So this market is looking for not a real very expensive destination, and the people there, they come to our country.
So do you think we should rely on digital media for making more promotion to Egypt?
It's mentioning now, a few minutes ago, that we have to show this what happens in Aswan, the events we are doing. This should be through the media. We will not go to one private channels and destinations and do this, because definitely the media now is mainly through the, the pads and everything. This is what we have to show. Like the icons, we have to make an icon for Egypt. We have to make some platforms on this. You can visit. You don't have a, the Egyptian Museum should have, I believe, plus what they are doing, a special website with every description, some type of those things, live, 360 degrees. They have to view, they have to promote it in a way.
So do you think that officials should be ready for the summer season now by campaigns and promotions?
Definitely, summer will be, I think it will be much better than last year, much better, especially at the resorts. We know resorts will always be booming with travelers in summer. And winter will be much better.
The coming winter?
Yes, November, October, November, and December. I believe it will be much better. And if the situation remains and we are thinking positively as we are doing now concerning the tourism, yes, definitely.
And what about the Russian tourists? Do you expect that resuming flights between Egypt and Russia and Sharm el-Sheikh will help in giving a good boost to tourism?
You already know now that Germany doesn't have any ban to Egypt. This is why I said that ITB will be something very nice and interesting and booming. Definitely, your question is very important, and it shows that, yes, I would say yes.
The Russian tourists will make a difference.
Will definitely come back.
This will make a big difference.
Yes, of course, it's making a difference. You know that we had in 2016 till September, we had only 3.2 million tourists.
Yes.
This is due that the Russians stopped coming because the flights was in this end, November, December, so they didn't come in 2016. But when they will start coming, definitely they will.
This takes us to the point that we should not rely on certain markets.
No, we have to spread ourselves. We have to go to Latin America. We have to go to the US, to Canada. Everybody, I'm telling you, every single human being on earth study Egypt. So they want to see our country. This is something we have to be proud of.
Yes, true.
We have to encourage them to come. So we have to give them all the aspects for them to come and have a safe and happy travel to this destination.
So one final comment. What is your message to tourists who are interested in the coming period to come and visit Egypt?
We are waiting for you.
Yes.
We are prepared.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Now, if you are thinking about security, we are same as any other place in the world. So we want you to come. If you go into the streets, people are missing. We need to see the tourists coming back. We need to see the museum full of tourists. It gives a better atmosphere to our country.
Okay. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Karim Ali, tourism expert, for being with us today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, and now, dear viewers, this brings us to the end of today's edition of Cairo Local Time. I'm Shana Adel signing off.